Hello and welcome to the Free State Stadium for yet another exciting day of the 2025 COSAFA Cup. And while things were off to a bright start yesterday with not too many goals in Group A, today we look forward to Group B action. And for those of you that may have missed the action yesterday, of course, the host nation, as is custom, got the tournament started, that being South Africa, in a game where they would have been looking for the good start against a good side in the Mozambicans, who walked away with a 1-0 win. The teams that get the action started today are Malawi as well as Lesotho, on a day where the weather is beautiful for a good game of football to start the action off. 2 days will be, or 2 games, I should say, will be played during the course of today at the Toyota Stadium. And well, for Malawi, it will be a nation that's like any other, will feel until they have improved quite impressively over the years in as far as the COSAFA Cup. The same can be said for Lesotho, so this should be a very good game of football. Malawi, of course, the first to arrive. And over the years, they have been able to draw crowds here in South Africa, in different parts of the country, of course. The likes of Durban, Port Elizabeth, they've had great crowds, but the test for them in the way of their support, which is amongst the best in Southern Africa, I think it's safe to say, for a lively crowd that knows how to party and set an atmosphere. What we will have to wait and see is whether they will have the support in the Free State. And, well, I say that because the Free State is just around the way from Lesotho. So for the opponents here today, the expectation will be that Lesotho should have a fair amount of supporters out there, should have maybe the upper hand in the way of supporters. Only real challenge will be the hour at which the game is being played, considering it is during the week. So the men from Lesotho arrived next, and for them, the last 2 COSAFA Cups have really seen them well, get to extreme heights and get into the final of the last 2. Some will say they've been punching above their weight, but I tell you what, they do play a good brand of football and have earned their places in the final. Looking to make it 3rd time lucky in their attempts to not only reach the final, but push on and see if they can be crowned COSAFA Cup champions. So they arrive here knowing that a lot will be expected of them. Of course, Lesotho operating in South Africa over the last couple of years is something that they've grown used to in the way of World Cup qualifiers and AFCON qualifiers, including being in the same group as South Africa in those qualifiers. So for many of these players, will be used to the trip down south, with the COSAFA Cup happening on a regular basis every year, I should say, including the qualifiers. They will be enjoying their trips.
Malawi, Coach Peter Mponda. Coach, you're facing Lesotho today. What can you expect?
It will be a very good game. We know how Lesotho play. The fast players, but sometimes they try to playing long balls. We are prepared for that. We want to come here and dictate our game.
Coach, you were runners-up in 2003 and 2004, but last year you were not in this tournament. Will that make a difference?
Yeah, I think being runners-up in 2 years is not good enough. We have come here to make sure that we try and reach the finals and win it. Yes, last year it wasn't good enough. We didn't do well, but we are prepared this year.
And when you look at your clashes coming to history or with Lesotho, you haven't beaten them in the last 3 games. Will that play a role?
Not really, because the coaching panel is not the same. The coaching panel changed, even the players. We have tried to change 1 or 2 things, but also history in football doesn't work. We are coming here to win the competition. And
how optimistic are you about today's match?
The way we have prepared, we have analyzed how Lesotho play. We want to capitalize on their mistakes and also their weaknesses. I believe that the guys will take the game plan into this game today.
And lastly, how important will it be to start with a win?
Yeah, of course. We always want to start with a very good performance and a very good result in a competition. But failing to win doesn't mean that we will not qualify to the semi-finals. But we want to start well with this competition.
Thank you, Coach, and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. We're joined by the coach of Lesotho, Ndate Leslie Notsi. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome. Day 2 today of the COSAFA Cup 2025. You playing against Malawi, a very big match if you look at the stats.
Yes, true indeed. It's a very, very big match. considering the profile of Malawi and the manner in which they've performed in the COSAFA editions, you know. Yeah.
And if you go down the history, you'll see that it's actually been evenly matched. You've won 2, they've won 2, and then only 1 draw.
Yes, it has been tight matches between the two countries, and we believe today's match is going to be very interesting, and both teams will want to get maximum points. So we are coming with the belief that we will do well.
And Coach, when you look at your team, what informed the selection today facing Malawi?
Mostly what was key to us was to see to it that there is continuity within our national team setup. So we have brought in 9 youngsters from our under-20 who have done very well for their respective clubs in our league. So there is also the old guard in the team that will see to it that the boys play without any pressure, and but at the same time, with the end result that is getting a win, because it's important that we start well so that going into the tournament we can see to it that we compete in the like quarterfinals and semis. That's the initial position with us.
Every team obviously comes here for the trophy, but in the event that you don't, what are you hoping to achieve?
We are hoping to achieve continuity within the national team setup, because there are players who are playing in the national team, our national team, who have performed in the World Cup qualifiers and AFCON, and who you see that within a year they won't be in the team. So the idea is to start preparing the youngsters into the international arena.
Thank you, Coach, and all the best.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Well, we've heard from both coaches here, and well, the interesting thing from a supporting point of view here is, as suspected, a few fans have made their way out there. I do believe I've seen 1 or 2 that may very well have done some Lesotho colours, so they may very well have the upper hand, Lesotho, coming into this game against Malawi. Listening to both coaches here, it's interesting when you look at the ambitions of both these sides. Malawi talking about winning the tournament. They would like to improve upon a semi-final berth and go all the way here. They believe they have what it takes to win it, and so they should. They, over the years, have played some really good football and have been amongst the nations to entertain, not necessarily get to goals and ambitions, but they have entertained. The Lesotho fans, well, they've seen their side really improve over the years, and there's plenty of reason to believe this could be their year. Of course, celebrations won't be too far from home, so if they are to do well in Bloemfontein here, getting home is just around the way, and they can thoroughly continue their celebrations out in the capital of Maseru. So it won't be long now until both these sides make their way out of the tunnel. Looking at the fixtures between these two sides, a couple of wins each against each other in the COSAFA Cup, including a draw, so neither side has the upper hand. Whoever walks away with the 3 points today will take the upper hand in as far as the head-to-head stats, with both nations' flags now making their way onto the turf here. Keep in mind, for those of you that may be joining us for the first time, and as far as this year's COSAFA Cup, from an officiating point of view, good news, great news, as history is made in a first on the African continent, where VAR will be with us right from the opening game. Was the case yesterday, and certainly played a part in the opening game with South Africa and Mozambique. And there was a goal disallowed in that encounter, lovely encounter to get the action started. Just the 1 goal to speak of there. Get another entertaining game later on in the day in the way of Group A, but no goals. The order of the day in the second game. So what these two teams will look to do is give us a bit of entertainment, including goals here. And this is certainly a game that promises goals as both these nations make their way out of the tunnel. Now time for the national anthems of Malawi and Lesotho.
Stand for the national anthem of Malawi. And now, national anthem of Lesotho.
So for the nation of Lesotho, runners-up in 2023, and that was really a year where they raised the bar in as far as their involvement in the COSAFA Cup. They had finished in the group stages on a couple of occasions before that in 2022 and 2021, and well, there was the third place finish in 2018. They finished fourth on a couple of occasions here, up against this Malawi side that will have Chikuka between the sticks. Watch out as well for the likes of Salima and Bingadira in the attacking areas, wearing the numbers 7 and 11. They will look to come in with a bit of creativity, take the game to this Lesotho side with Bayeri and Mbekera in the heart of defense, looking to keep things nice and tight. Keep in mind, they will look for that good start here where defensively they are sound, and offensively they certainly take the game to their opponents. Have finished fourth in a good few occasions, have the men from Lesotho mentioned 2019, 2017, including 2013. Runners up on a couple of occasions as well, back in 2000 and last year, as both captains now step up here for an important toss of the coin here. Ain't the man who will captain the men from Malawi, Mahele, doing likewise for Lesotho. Interesting that both the captains here do play in the heart of defense for both these sides. So for Mahele and his Lesotho counterparts, Leslie Noti setting for the squad that will have the experience of Futwani wearing the number 10 jersey. He can be exciting on his day, can really take the game to the opponents and tear them down creatively, and so score a goal or two. Maile and Lezima out in the attack will be hoping for plenty of service as the men in your picture look to keep the good times rolling here as they look for yet another exciting outing in the COSAFA Cup. HollywoodBets and Clarice Mango well turned up here, looking for yet another good day in as far as VAR and all the upping of the game from an African point of view, and as far as officiating merging with technology. A first on the continent with COSAFA. Well, the first to use VAR on the continent a few years ago, now the first to start a tournament with VAR, with the norm usually being to see VAR coming into the knockout stages of the top African tournaments. So, whilst Lesotho had joined the COSAFA Cup, they haven't seen it translate quite to the African qualifiers, or AFCON qualifiers, as well as the World Cup qualifiers on the African continent. So what they'll be hoping to do here is get back to that winning feeling against Malawi, who will attack the goal to the left of your picture. Lesotho with Lex of Miley looking to get involved nice and early here. They do like to put the ball on the ground. They will have the speedy, tricky players that can cause problems. Nice early start here from Lesotho. Well, Maile and Lezema immediately getting into the game here and looking to ask questions of that Malawi defense. Nice tempo here in the early exchanges. So Malawi will be looking to get onto the front foot. They do have the big man in the attack here in Forma. Has some size about him, so we'll look to take the game here and keep Machele and Sifoli busy and occupied. He is wearing the big number 9, traditional number 9 type of striker. Well, they are a nation that is football mad. Malawi, same can be said for Lesotho here, but for Malawi, they can on their day really dish out a powerful, athletic game of football. And well, the expectation is for them to get it together here and start to put up some performances in the COSAFA Cups. So we'll see them maybe get the confidence they need internationally to start making a statement throughout the continent. Lesotho now again looking for their speedy players in those attacking positions. Nice overlapping movement from the defender on that left side as well. Now we're having good numbers back, in the pace, as mentioned earlier here, is being set by Lesotho in these early stages. Bit of space in the middle of the park here as look to exploit this right side for the first time, Lesotho. Mainly. Well, they do have a player that has gone down here. Play continues with Lesotho hoping to create the first chance of the game. Now we've got a situation where a couple of players have gone down. We'll get physical between Homa and Machele and Sifoli when those three come together. The two central defenders, of course, look to ensure that for Homa it's not all too easy to hold it up and bring others into the game. He is a big, powerful striker. Sylvain Baides, who looked as though he arrived late with a challenge on that occasion. And the other striker, so the big number 9s here on either side of the field are feeling the early effects of defenders looking to set the tempo nice and early, letting them off their presence and willingness to get physical should the need arise.
Okay, go and check. Let them move behind. It's behind, yeah.
Well, drop ball here for the Angolans to try and get moving once again. Get to see them really put the ball down and move it into the opposition half of the field as yet. So many other players are getting their first feel of the ball in the COSAFA Cup. This might be the captain. Remember on this near side, driving forward here as they to use the width of the field quite beautifully. They do have good movement on the near side. The ball played forward wasn't bad at all. It was probably done defensively in reading the danger. Just the clearance wasn't the very best at the first time of asking, but still, is Lesotho comfortable with the ball at their feet as they look to move it upfield. And it gets exciting after that left side with the skill and pace that is on offer. Oh, that's beautifully done. That's 2 or 3 taking out the equation until they thought was a good challenge from Nune. And in the end, it's seen as a foul on the exciting Lipsima playing out on that left side. Every time he's gotten to the ball, he's looked to eliminate 1 or 2 here in the early exchanges. Malawi, of course, champions in the COSAFA Cup out in the East. It was on 3 occasions, 78, 79, as well as 88. They've got some defending to do here. Lesotho, well, having room for improvement in how they dealt with that set piece inside the box. Able to find the teammate, the first touch. Really left a lot to be desired. And for the Malawi, also runners-up in the COSAFA Cup. You'll remember it's the competition that's very much like the COSAFA, but it's out in the East with the likes of Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Gone out there as a guest, as we've seen Tanzania being guests here in Southern Africa on a couple of occasions as well. For the Malawis, they've won that on 3 occasions, runners up on 3 occasions, 3rd place in the COSAFA on 3 occasions. So they're regulars out in the East. Now, good play in the middle of the park here as Une finds a bit of width out on the right side. The overlapping run is a positive one here as 4 begin to make their way into the box, inviting the early ball. So this Group B action, keep in mind, just about all the groups proving to be quite tough for it. It's not so easy to predict the winners of the games as the years move along, and the nations that some 10, 15 years ago may have found themselves being maybe minnows here in Southern Africa, improving and really beginning to be headaches here to some of the sides that are seen as the favorites or the heavy hitters in Southern Africa. Good pressing from the front here from Lesotho with the men from Malawi determined to play it out in the end. Well, they are testing each other physically here. Both these sides on a few occasions, but Lesotho in their ability to put the ball down and play has seen them, of course, get off to quite an impressive start here. Using the width of the field, they also are looking to play a good brand of football, enjoy themselves, keep it away from Malawi. Nicely done here on this near side until the attempt to try and stop the movement of Lesotho. The movement from out wide on this right side, nicely read as well. Now, was there a foul here? The tracking back was impressive from Mbingajira, and does get his arm across the chest of the opponent, so good call from the officials. Initially, it looked as though it may be a set piece that was won. Well, the referee was run over, but in the end, good honest refereeing, very much on the money. Get to see a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity here. Six in the box for Lesotho. And as far as a physical presence, one could argue that Malawi may very well have the upper hand in that regard. Really, it's a game that As I've seen players looking to take each other on, it's been quite competitive and physical as well on a few occasions. So they certainly will be looking to keep close tabs, the defenders on the attackers, but the ball in is rather disappointing at the first time of asking. The shot from range is not going to force Chikuka to make any saves nice and early here. Well, Lesotho have spent the bulk of the time in the opposition half of the field, and although Malawi, they are still looking to really establish their rhythm. Look at the players that have come from Malawi over the years. Yes, they will continue to play from the back here, but dangerously so, with Lesotho trying to win it as high up the field as possible. Nice work in the middle of the park then from Malawi to find a bit of space on that right side. We'll look to shake things up in the way of the continent. Malawi, and as far as the ladies' game is concerned, they really do have a presence, and at times shaking up and playing some stunning football. They've got some stars that do ring bells all across the continent, Malawi. The men will look to improve with the talent they have. They'll feel they should have done better as far as their records in trying to get to World Cups and AFCONs. So first time we've seen them really put the ball down here and enjoyed at their feet here, maybe with the only attempt to send it forward. Now it was 2, 3, 4 that were waiting for the drop of the ball then, so I'm surprised to see the men in red coming on tops in that regard. Beginning to also have a bit of presence in the midfield with the likes of Singo. Now making their presence felt and seeing them do a much better job of holding on to the ball. Silwimba. Pipe it. "11 minutes in, and both these sides have now pretty much found their rhythm. Either goalkeeper tested as yet. Beginning to find some time on the ball here by the central defender, who's going to get things started from a playing point of view. He doesn't mind pushing forward and looking for the difficult forward pass to get things started. Here he is, the captain again. Under a bit of pressure, but still trying to buy some time and space for that forward pass. It's a wayward one in the end, so Lesotho push forward here until Lungu did a good job of winning it back. Now Malawi looking to get it going forward here and launch a attack that could be their best of the game so far. Again, looking for the big striker, turning, protecting the ball, winning the set piece. Coming from behind, and with the foul is Lezema. He was already speeding up to the opponent once the big striker got his body between the opponent and the ball. He was in all sorts of problems, couldn't hit the brakes in time. In the end, it's a set piece here for Malawi, so their big men are pushed forward, and this is an area of interest should they get the quality ball in there. Their big, powerful men are pushed forward here. The likes of Nkoma. Watch out for Silwimba as well, wearing the number 3 jersey on this near side. Everybody back defending, so we're able to deal with the pressure now, looking to hit on the counter. Lovely work in winning it back in a good area here for Malawi. They certainly have found their rhythm now, also playing it at a nice tilt, and as far as the pace, using the width of the game as of the field, I should say as well. Sigo. Tizola in the middle of the park, going back to Baby and Mbogera. Well, we get to see just how comfortable Malawi are on the ball here. And the two sides that are very much ball-playing sides. having a proper go at each other. Lovely ball to the near side. The overlapping run was good, as was the first touch. Support quick to arrive. They've started out to that right side, went to the centre, they went to the back four, then went early with the ball forward towards the left side, and here they are again in the middle of the park. They are doing a stunning job of using the width of the field. Pass after pass here from Malawi, whilst they maybe were second out the starting blocks in finding their rhythm. Now that they have discovered it, they are looking a side that is certainly out here to play and make an impression. Bugera. Good work, hard work in trying to keep it moving in a favour for the Malawians here. The big striker playing with his back to goal. From that hard work, his side still holding on to the ball. He has been an eternity, and they are keeping it moving quite impressively. The nice touch on this near side was from Bigajera. Now, Silvemba. Set piece will be to Lesotho, and a bit of a breather here. Well, they have had to switch up after a good start where they had plenty of the ball. And ball possession, they had to switch to a defensive mindset for a good 5 or so minutes where they hardly got a touch of the ball. And had to chase that ball all over the field with Malawi looking good. And that's holding on to it and probing and looking for the opening. Now, Lesotho's turn to push forward. Lovely work. In the middle of the park. Is all that in. Coming into a settle Lesotho here. We get another set piece, and 15 minutes in, both these sides now having found their rhythm. Just looking to create chances. Hasn't happened as yet for both Malawi and Lesotho. Did have a friendly against Kenya, did Malawi in March. Interesting, Kenya handed them a thorough beating with the 4-0 scoreline in a game played in Malawi. So they were the hosts, and well, they were very much on the wrong end of that scoreline, with Kenya making a bit of a statement. Then they hosted Zambia as well 3 days after that. Again, another home match for Malawi. Once again, the end result, seeing them walking away, having taken a beating at home to the Zambians. Again, good work in keeping it alive here on this near side. Homer doing so under a tremendous amount of pressure as well. So physically, the men from Malawi are beginning to make their presence felt here in the ability to maybe start to dominate the midfield battle in winning the ball back, and making life maybe a bit more difficult for Lesotho to play that free-flowing football they intended to start the game with. Now they are looking to go long here on this near side. Lovely ball and good work to keep it alive, and in the end, Silvemba dropping back and trying to deal with the skill and pace of Maile. There's a late, and will be lucky if he doesn't pick up a yellow card here. Extremely late, nowhere near the ball to that challenge. And Lesotho will be hoping the injury here is not a serious one, in that Maliabek can continue. He's back on his feet here, which is a good sign, but this pace on the left and right has given Malawi some food for thought here in these early stages. First time we get to see what they can do from a dead ball situation here. The men from Lesotho, the Mountain Kingdom. So for 20. They look to create here 6 in the box to try and pick out. All it takes is one good ball and one good connection on the post. They had the good ball, they had the ball, the decent connection. Only problem is he got under it. And Dolwane and skied it, where the keeper was in all sorts of trouble here. He was diving the wrong way. Open goal, really. Disappointing. Should be 1-0 for Lesotho. Some encouragement for them in the way of the dead ball situations, where one may have expected Malawi with their physicality and size and strength and athleticism to be a problem. It's Lesotho that are the first to really have a good go from a set piece or a dead ball situation. Again, the holder play is impressive. Pushing forward here is Mpangajira. So quick to win it back. They can be a problem on the counter-attack should they get their passing and movement right. Few fans now have rocked up out on that far side. You can see more numbers here in the Free State capital. Lovely skill now. 3-4 in the box. Defensively, Lesotho have plenty back to a point where and now he's forced to try their luck from a long way out, and well, it's a disappointing ending to what looked a promising situation out on that right side. Ngoma, the striker, has been thoroughly impressive with his holder play here. So much of the play centered around him. The big number 9 and his ability to play with his back to goal here. Good communication from Malawi and alerting the man on the ball of the pressure coming around him. So they are able to keep it moving impressively. To some tilt again, the big striker with the flick on Ngoma. They really do find him as the outlet. It's the gift that keeps on giving for the rest of the teammates. He works extremely hard out in the attack. And he is now looking to apply a bit of pressure in the front as well. Matau. Seeing more on that sort of play from Lesotho, where they have looked to go long and over the top here and trying to maybe expose the defenders on one-on-one situations. Zamek, the man operating in the right back position, is fouled on that occasion. Zema with the nudge. Have had moments of discomfort out on the left and right side. Ramek and Swilimba on the left. Have been isolated on the one-on-one with Lesotho. More than happy to have a go at them, the wingers from Lesotho, and skin them on one or two occasions. Biranjira equally as lively on the left side here for Malawi, pushing forward with a bit of help from Swilimba. Nicely done in keeping moving Singo, finding Tizola. Again, Lesotho with plenty back here as Malawi working into the box and can't quite get the drop, and Lesotho sensibly on the defensive end, work it back to Museu. And certainly Malawi have started to dominate. In fact, have dominated for some time, maybe the last 10 or so minutes in the way of out-and-out play. Grabbed the momentum here and are looking very impressive in the way they're going about business. For Lesotho's mostly counter-attacking football, and the struggles have begun in trying to stitch together those passes and keep the momentum moving. Well, midway points of the first half. No goals, no causes yet. And the two sides looking to break each other down here. Malawi, one could argue, it's just the way of momentum and enjoying the game and maybe dictating matters out there. I've enjoyed the last 10 minutes. Lesotho started off well, but slowly Malawi started to get into the game here. And tell you what, they dish out some pretty sweet football. Ramek, good ball, lively touch from Big Anjera. Sulemba. So, can Lesotho now put the ball down and get back to the touches and movement they showed us in the opening 5-10 minutes? Got the set piece here. Seeing less and less of the likes of Maliape and Maile in the attacking areas. Dolan is the man that's won the set piece here, battling in the middle of the park. Did have the best chance of the game. If you are just joining us, Lesotho with a dead ball situation from this right side. Ball played into the near post, clear cut opportunity then, and Luani, the man who blasted over. Now Lesotho with the ball in, that's comfortably cleared by the captain. Interesting when you look at Lesotho and Malawi overall here in their history in the COSAFA Cup. Of course, or the numbers maybe I should say, you'll find don't separate them too much in the overall record between the best sides and those that are at about middle of the table, if you were to break it down to that, counting the number of games played and won overall in the tournament. Of course, the Zambians outstanding in that regard, the most successful nation in the COSAFA Cup, whilst the defending champions are the Angolans. They had a very nice mixture last year, the defending champions Angola, of physicality, speed and intellect in the way they went about winning the COSAFA Cup. By far the most entertaining and deserving winners of last year's tournaments, as we look back at this foul here. That's good work to win it back. That's an eye up the field, and now skins the defender, looks for one of the three teammates inside that box, and Malawi able to survive, but the pressure being kept alive here by Lesotho. Now the shot from a difficult angle. All like it from the men from the Mountain Kingdom. Azema. Certainly had one thought in mind. Once he found a yard of space, then he put it onto the stronger right foot. The angle was testing the keeper. Chukwuka will argue he had that covered every step of the way. So approaching the half-hour mark here, it's a good stuff from both these nations, minus the goals. It's one part of the game that could very well come alive here between these two nations. The way they're going about the football certainly suggests goals will be affected here today. It's beautiful work on that far side by the Malawis. The ball and the chance. I believe there was a foul on Museu. Best chance for Malawi. Stunning work on the right side here in creating a space for the cross, and eventually when it came in from Rene, it proved to be difficult with Big Anjera staying committed and, well, keeping Museu honest. Spoke about that physicality from a Malawian point of view. It's something for one and company to really look to exploit here in taking this game to Lesotho. Oh, athletic men out there, the men in the red and black. Here they are winning it back in midfield again. That's superbly read. Defense quickly turns into attack here. Futwani. Then they're doing a great job in the middle of the park here. The Malawis are disrupting the rhythm from the men in the white and blue. Rushed on the ball, and well, one thing they'd like to do is avoid a bit of physical contact, surely. At once the Malawis do get a touch in on you, you feel their presence, which is the case now. There's your case in point for Tolwani. Intensity from this Malawi side is got them maybe enjoying the opening 30 minutes of this Group B encounter. Keep in mind, Angola, the defending champions, also in this group, former champions Namibia on the other side in this group. So this is a tough group to try and call here, with so many top sides here. Namibia can't be ignored, and they simply won't let you ignore them. And as far as football here on the southern tip of the continent, Lesotho last year's runners-up, Angola last year's champions. He's having a very good game. The man wearing the number 19 jersey in the middle of the park. He's seeing plenty of it. Here he is again. He's just central to everything good about this Malawi side. Now looking for the ball over the top. Angle didn't quite complement the movement of Pinganjera. Well read by Musu. Again, it's Singo now. Again, they find a bit of joy here on the right side. Pinganjera. The more this game continues, the stronger Malawi are looking here in keeping this Lesotho defense occupied, taking the fun out of life from Lesotho so far. Malawi, with the way they're going about business. One serious issue, however, is well, they have enjoyed the better play, but haven't really created much in the way of clear-cut chances. Painful old game this. You'll think back to South Africa, the way they played well yesterday, but Mozambique not only defended well and were able to cope with what South Africa threw at them, but they did the most important thing, which was find the back of the net. Outswinger. Well met by Matau in getting it clear now. Malawi wastes little to no time in winning it back. Plenty of options inside the box. So 31 minutes gone by in this encounter. Well, whilst Malawi maybe are playing the better football, Lesotho will be very quick to point out that there is not too much separating these sides in the way of chances created. Wama. Strong. Good job of holding off those defenders and bringing the likes of Silwimba into it. Singo. Yes, Singo again. Silwimba. Nice turn. And they're now looking for the man out to that far side. It's a lovely ball. Great first touch. Support very quick to arrive as well. Just didn't have his head up, did Lamek, in trying to pick a teammate. Kicked it in more hope than anything else. Defense able to deal. Now Lesotho able to get some men over that halfway line for the first time in some time. Able to get onto the front foot. Get another lovely crossfield ball. The norm at this stage of the game, at this level of the game, as Haley once again only takes the ball beautifully, but has the beating of the defender on this near side. Now, look at her. For once, they don't quite angle it right in trying to find the big striker in the attack here. the Angolans. Lesotho now looking to enjoy some possession of Matau. We're going to see more and more of it as the deep line midfielder. So Group A will have gotten off to a good start. The only problem with the Group A, the start they had yesterday, is just the 1 goal in the 2 matches. 33 minutes of Group B action, no goals as yet. And again, dominant in the middle of the park. Pipe it. Silvemba. Combining very well with Big Angela on this left side. So also the only goal of this tournament so far is worth noting. It looked an own goal, but Mania Julie was the man that may very well have been credited with it. I'd like to see more of that going forward. Lesotho are able to hold it up and keep Malawi pinned back around that final third. The more creative players to push forward and start to make runs that could very well prove problematic. Great goalkeeping, saw that nice and early, coming off his line to not only relieve the pressure defensively, but also kickstart the offensive movement from Malawi. Lovely movement on the right side again. Defender turned this way and that, but he stood his ground well out to the far side. The ball in is a lovely ball. They had to deal with it, Lesotho, and did well enough to buy some time as Malawi looked to build once again and keeping them pinned back. They really entertaining and just played at that tempo, but also the quickness of thought from the Malawi players at times when they are rushed on the ball is impressive. The measurements of the passes and so on under pressure is what's really stood out for big men that have a lovely balance and presence on the field, but can play, really can play for big lanky men. Pipe it. Yep, it's going to be a tough group. This difficult to call in the way of who will or could come out tops to qualify for a place in the knockout stages. But Lesotho now looking to find that all-important first goal in this group. That's the option with the movement on this near side. The communication not quite spot on then for the overlapping run that was developing as he looked to make a central pass. Comfortable for Malawi defensively with just the one target inside the box when that early cross came in. Maybe one could say Angola as defending champions could very well be favourites in this group, but Namibia, Malawi and Lesotho very much, I believe, have a thing or two to say about that. Now, Malawi again unable to keep the pressure on Lesotho. Good work then by Matau and the number 19 protecting that back four and winning it back. Esengo. They really are having to work to keep him quiet. Have to communicate well, have an understanding. Mahele and Sifodi, I should say, in dealing with him. So for the most part, Mahele has been the man stuck to him and looking to keep the striker quiet. Here is with the header. Difficult man to keep quiet with his presence. Difficult to bully physically. And he wants the ball, so he's just about everywhere looking for it. Also, what's enjoyable for a striker with these attributes is when your teammates understand you and look for you, as the Malawans have looked for Mpoma. Playing to his strengths. To also give him a headache in dealing with him. Of course, Group C is a rather interesting one. A three-team group with Eswatini, Madagascar looking to have their way with the visitors in this year's tournaments. Now, Lesotho with some toy out to the far side, and the man arriving on the blind side in the end, Angola, or rather Malawi, only able to deal with it defensively, but here they are, winning the midfield battle once again. Lovely footwork, and in the end he had eliminated three, just couldn't get away from the Lesotho men and find enough space to release the pass. And they are built with the all-important challenge here. Well, here's a man that's really been a joy to watch in the middle of the park here for Malawi. Powers forward, and then you start to see the technical side of the game where he's got the lovely touches. He's got the ability with the vision and the pass as well. I do beg your pardon, I did say Angola a little bit earlier. I'll tell you why. The nations of Malawi, Angola, and Mozambique at times, when you look at the kits, it's always black and red. So the commentator's curse will kick in every now and then when you have a verbal typo. I can assure you it's Malawi in action. Mozambique were in action yesterday against the South Africans, same colours. We'll see what colours the Angolans come out with when they turn out in Bloemfontein. Now, minutes remaining in the first half, where they've played the football with their hearts in the right place, just haven't created too many chances, both these nations. It's a good football on show. Hey, watchable game of football, this. Now, can Lesotho find the opener before the half-time break here? They've got numbers on this near side for Twani. That pass asking just a little too much of his teammates, but they will get the corner. Chikuka. And at the one moment, there was a real scare where they were exposed in defending a set piece from this near side. Lesotho should have grabbed the lead then. Didn't. Other than that, he really hasn't been tested. Chikuka. Swinging cross again towards that far post, and the big men in the red and black able to deal with it. That's lovely work to keep the pressure on here for Lesotho. Now the ball in with good numbers in the box. There's a chance! The shot straight at Chikuka. Lack power as well from Letama. And Lesotho with yet another wonderful opportunity here to open the scoring. Does well in finding the pocket of space, but and gets the feeling, the connection on that left foot left a lot to be desired. Two great chances for Lesotho, by the way, in this first half. Well, they started well inside the opening 10. They are looking to end it well in the last 5 of this first half. Lesotho, whilst Malawi's enjoyed the middle parts of the half where they had their dominance, minus the clear-cut chances. Speaking of clear-cut chances, doesn't really come better than that. As soon as it left his foot, he knew the connection wasn't true. He was frustrated with himself then. Letama. Ramek looking for one of the 5 inside that box. Nicely done in moving it down the line here. Made it under a bit of pressure, forced into the area. Nice ball to Nigeria here on this near side. Very nice in finding the pockets of space. And Lesotho doing a good job defensively, however, of staying nice and tight and protecting their keeper. But really all being kept honest here by Angolan side. It's full of creativity and ideas until it's our final third with the final ball. Pipe. Siluemba. Very nicely done. Once again from Ngoma. He really has seen plenty of it. Yes, not in goal scoring areas, but for a big striker, he has been very involved here in the general play from the Malawi, to a point where his contribution is the one that's been telling so far in this first 45. Zema amongst those keeping it alive on the far side. 1 minute of time added on to the end of this first half. Again, just the one target on the edge of the box to try and aim for Lesotho. That is the maybe area of concern when they do go early with the cross towards the edge of the box. 1 against 4 or 5 big men. As you've seen Malawi more often than not comfortably deal with that sort of situation. Difficult first half on the front foot in open play here for Lesotho to create clear-cut chances. They haven't created all too much, but then again they have also found they've enjoyed the one-on-one duels in the wide areas. Other areas of the park, it's been a bit of a challenge for them. Could be the very last attacking play of the first half. This with Lesotho committed here on the front foot. Good numbers on the edge of their box, looking for the quality ball in. 7-way in there. Ball back in towards that near post, and well, with everybody back defending, Malawi working on to try and ensure there isn't a defensive mistake late in the first 45. That's out. Zema. Again, numbers in the box here. Good ball in. To needed a better touch from Tolwani. Looking for 2 touches inside that box. Tolwani with the numbers back there. Malawi happy not to allow that second touch. Was quickly pounced upon then by Bogera as soon as that first touch wasn't true. So 45 minutes gone by here, and yet another match. Well, the third in a row. And Bloemfontein sees the matches at the COSAFA Cup of 2025, not having had a goal in the first 45, not for a lack of trying here from Malawi and Lesotho, but I tell you what, Malawi have played the better football for the most part in that half, just creating clear-cut chances, difficult against Lesotho. Once they've had to play in the counter-attack, they've created the better chances. But at the end of the first half, it's Malawi 0, Lesotho 0. So, goals in the first half have proven a bit tough for all of the nations so far. And, well, there you have it. Malawi was just, 2 goal attempts with all of their play and nothing on target in the way of shots. For Lesotho, just the 1 shot on target. Breaks down the struggles for both these sides. It's on the front foot. They look to improve upon that in the second half. And this is certainly a game that promises goals as both these nations make their way out of the tunnel. The Lesotho fans, well, they've seen their side really improve over the years, and there's plenty of reason to believe this could be their year. Of course, celebrations won't be too far from home, so if they are to do well in Bloemfontein here, and making life maybe a bit more difficult for Lesotho to play that free-flowing football they intended to start the game with. Now they are looking to go long here on this near side. Lovely ball and good work to keep it alive, and in the end, dropping back and trying to deal with this game. The skill and pace of Maile is late, and will be lucky if he doesn't pick up a yellow card here. Extremely late, nowhere near the ball to that challenge. And Lesotho will be hoping the injury here is not a serious one, in that Malawi can continue. He's back on his feet here, which is a good sign, but this pace on the left and right has given Malawi some food for thought here in these early stages. First time we get to see what they can do from a dead ball situation here. The men from Lesotho, the Mountain Kingdom. So for 20. They look to create here. 6 in the box to try and pick out. All it takes is one good ball and one good connection on the near post. They had the good ball, they had the ball, the decent connection. Only problem is he got under it. And Dolwane and skied it, where the keeper was in all sorts of trouble here. He was diving the wrong way. Open goal, really. Disappointing. Should be 1-0 for Lesotho. Two fans now have rocked up out on that far side. We can see more numbers here in the Free State capital. Lovely skill now. 3-4 in the box. Defensively, Lesotho have plenty back to a point where Malawi is forced to try their luck from a long way out, and well, it's a disappointing ending to what looked a promising situation out on that right side. Ngoma, the striker. That's good work to win it back. That's an eye up the field, and now skins the defender, looks for one of the 3 teammates inside that box, and Malawi able to survive, but the pressure being kept alive here by Lesotho. Now the shot from a difficult angle. All like it from the men from the Mountain Kingdom. Zema. Certainly had one thought in mind. Once he found a yard of space, then he put it onto the stronger right foot. Good stuff from both these nations, minus the goals. That's one part of the game that could very well come alive here between these two nations. The way they're going about the football certainly suggests goals will be affected here today. It's beautiful work on that far side by the Malawis. The ball in and the shots. I don't believe there was a foul on Museu. Best chance for Malawi. Stunning work on the right side here in creating a space for the cross, and eventually when it came in from Rene, it proved to be difficult. Seeing plenty of it. Here he is again. He's just central to everything good about this Malawi side. Now looking for the ball over the top. Angle didn't quite complement the movement of Pinganjera. Well read by Museu. Again, it's Singo now. Again, they find a bit of trouble here on the right side. Pinganjera. The more this game continues, the stronger Malawi are looking here. Great goalkeeping. Saw that nice and early, coming off his line to not only relieve the pressure defensively, but also kickstart the offensive movement from Malawi. Lovely movement on the right side. Again, defender turned this way and that, but he stood his ground well out to the far side. The ball in is a lovely ball. They had to deal with it, Lesotho, and did well enough to buy some time as Malawi look to build once again and keeping them pinned back. Outswinging cross again towards that far post, and the big men in the red and black able to deal with it. That's lovely work to keep the pressure on here for Lesotho. Now the ball in with good numbers in the box. There's a chance! The shot straight at Chikuka. Leg power as well from Lezama. And Lesotho with yet another wonderful opportunity here to open the scoring. Does well in finding the pocket of space, but one gets the feeling the connection on that left foot left a lot to be desired. Looking for the quality ball in. 7-way in there. Ball back in towards that near post, and well, with everybody back defending, Malawi working on to try and ensure there isn't a defensive mistake late in the first 45. That's out. Lezama. Again, numbers in the box here. Good ball in. To needed a bit of touch from Tolwani. Looking for 2 touches inside that box. Tolwani just creating clear-cut chances. Difficult against Lesotho. Once they've had to play in the counter-attack, they've created the better chances. But at the end of the first half, it's Malawi 0, Lesotho 0. Well, the third in a row. And Bloemfontein sees the matches at the COSAFA Cup of 2025, not having had a goal in the first 45, not for a lack of trying here. So welcome back to Bloemfontein as we look forward to, well, the second 45 minutes of the opening match on day 2 of the COSAFA Cup. Lesotho and Malawi changing clothes in the first half, where it was competitive enough, minus the clear-cut goal-scoring chances and goals in that first half. They competed well in the middle of the park. They also did look to get onto the front foot, both these sides. It's just the quality that's lacking in the final ball here, and execution of the few chances created that's maybe kept the scoreline at 0-0 so far. But interesting when you look at the games played so far and the struggles from a goal scoring point of view for the sides that have been in action. Group A yesterday, Group B today. So Lesotho will be looking to make a change here at the start of the second half. A couple of players will be coming on. The one who was operating in the middle of the park as the deep-lying midfielder amongst those that will be making way. Rappelling on in his place. Did have their struggles in dealing with the Malawans in the middle of the park. Could be the reason why, as you know, the Lesotho coach has opted to start off the second half by looking to maybe make the changes in the middle of the park that could see them have a change in momentum here. The man making way. Wrong side to Luani. Good start for Maile in the opening 10-15. After that, they mainly were outplayed by Malawi, who dominated in ball position, and Lesotho were very much on the receiving end of play, looking to hit with sporadic counter-attacks where it didn't quite come together for them. But as I said, they did create a bit of chances, one or two of them. Just the one chance on target for Malawi. So all of that play that looks positive and nice in the middle of the park, missing the final product. Keep in mind the Zambians, who are the most successful nation in the COSAFA Cup, or in Group D. It's also an interesting situation in Group D with Comoros and Botswana. Comoros have improved drastically over the years to a point where they seriously do compete, and have grown quite used to taking games to some of the bigger nations and taking points from them as well. Botswana, another that's well, over the years gone on to earn the respect on the African continent, meaning it won't be all too easy for the Zambians. Ramek. Well, Lesotho again trying to have a bit of joy here. Oh, wide on this near side, especially when Ramek has been isolated by Lezema. A nice duel between the two. They've had a good start, the Lesotho winger, early on in the match, but as the match went along, Ramek, I think, found solutions to deal with him on the one-on-one duel, which is the case once again here on this near side. Under pressure, Lesotho, beautifully done by Rapuleg, then to find the forward pass and a bit of space on that right side. Lovely overlapping run used as a decoy. In fact, good work from the defender out wide on that left side of defense for the Malawans in keeping up with the run. Eliminating the runner as an option for the pass. So, Ramek, options on this near side. Salima now. Well, it's just the one target in there. Ken, they are very well organized defensively, Lesotho. Easy it was in the end for Museo to pick up and try and look for the early ball forward, but they needed to watch the runners and also ensure that He didn't make any mistakes defensively, which has been the case so far here in the second half. Butwane called for the foul. Coming to good effect since coming in off the bench, dropping wearing the number 8 jersey now. Lesotho with Butwane, unsettled by Swilimba, who got goal side and remained nice and strong defensively then in dealing with the danger. Hold up play here from Goma. All the fans out in the stands are beginning to find their voice. Not quite the numbers we enjoyed with the host nation yesterday, but still, a few from Lesotho that have turned out here to try and whoa the men in white and blue to a good start to the tournament. Now 3 getting in the box. It's a decent ball in there. Cleared by Baby. Keeping the pressure on Lesotho. I mean, the work put in the middle of the park when it is a time to defend. Then the big men coming up with some impressive plays, the likes of Tizola and the thing when Nuni here for Malawi. That's one of those 3 players I highlighted just a moment ago, operating in the middle of the park. So other nations will be watching on here and noting the impressive defensive displays, I think is safe to say, from the sides in action so far. Movement is good here on the near side, but again, defensively, Lesotho are organized and have dotted their I's and crossed their T's, so to speak. They challenged, but still, they allowed to continue. Good movement from Leteba. After he was the victim of the kick, he still kept moving. Didn't worry about trying to win the foul. He was looking to take advantage of the space available to Lesotho on this near side. Mahal. Nice play by Lesotho that far side, and in the end again, being responsible on the defensive end and getting numbers back has stood Malawi in a good stead here. Well, for Lesotho, the involvement in the COSAFA Cup goes all the way back to 97. But as far as the preliminary round, it was the same in 98. When things started to look up, around 99, quarterfinals, 2000 runners-up, quarterfinalists again in 2001. And they went through a bit of a lull following 2001, and of late, but started to shake things up and not only getting through the group stages, but getting into some exciting situations and trying to find the first COSAFA Cup crowning. This is very much a defender's game so far, if you are just joining us. Suluemba. Coach Notsi pointing out, and speaking to Matamela Maraki before this match, that when he's looking at the current Lesotho squad, the first national team proper in the AFCON qualifiers as well as the World Cup qualifiers, he says a year or 2 from now, a good number of the current national team players will have moved on. So what the nation of Lesotho is looking to do, and looking to do with this COSAFA Cup, is start to build for the future. Those that are on the fringes and where age allows can start to get the experience internationally that could see them very much get the experience and improve and have the influence they were hoping for in order to make the senior national team in the big qualifiers for the big tournaments. Pacey on this near side. Halima. Heavy first touch. Sees a chance at maybe pulling the trigger, go begging. Now, and they'll look to get it together here. And just holding on to it under a tremendous amount of pressure once again. It's a good strong play. We've seen that from both the strikers here on either side of the field. That's been impressive. And you've got a big traditional number 9 that can use his body well against the foe in this case. It really is a joy to watch. Only difference is Nkoma is the one that's being used a whole lot more from a Malawi point of view. At least that was the case in the first half. Look, the handball is a handball. Well, for Lesotho, of course, the big quest for them is to try and be regulars in qualifying and staying up there with the best on the continent, and as far as the Africa Cup of Nations, something they've struggled at over the years, even with the improvements of the game here in Southern Africa. We're going to shake up the whole continent. We've seen Comoros come from obscurity to life amongst the best at an Africa Cup of Nations. Benjira doing a good job of holding on to it to patiently wait for the pass, then the outlet. Olungu, I should say. Again, 10 minutes gone by here in the second half, and well, the struggles of the first half continue where these sides are struggling to break each other down here. Malawi with the man down and injured, Vibe, and he defensively will have his technical team extremely happy alongside Bogera in how well they've been organized, barring maybe 1 or 2 moments in the first half. Just chances still with Lesotho. No, the bulk of the play, the real ball position has been with Malawi. Well, they have both contributed a lot to football down in South Africa in the way of league football of the nations of Malawi and Lesotho. The likes of Fisher Kondo were coming or hailing from Malawi down in the Limpopo province alongside the Mbondes of the world. What a generation of players they had out in Toyondo. They had 2 or 3 Malawians, and the likes of Sikwibilu, one that was there, who's of course amongst the best to have come from Malawi from a deep-lying midfield position. Now, problem here. Confirmed, but it looks as though they may be forced into the change. I can't tell you, they will be bringing on a couple of players, Malawi. Wondering if they'll wait to see what the situation is with the possible injury before making the change. Well, wayward ball in a dangerous area here. Now, rush of blood to the head from Rapuleng. He had options, 4 players ahead of him then, all of them making runs. Kept the pressure on that Malawi defense and trying to maybe find one of those 4. In the end, it was a rather hopeful shot from 25 or so yards out. No worries for Chikoka. So far, it's just really had to make the one save and has made just the one save. So, changes will be made with the hope of, well, quickly change on the scoreline here. Maybe the captain will make way. Jobinada is everyone in his place. Well, twins in play here. The scoreline still at 0-0, and Nkoma, who got through a great first half and was incredibly effective playing with his back to goal, maybe tiring out here in the second, not quite as effective as he was in the first. So no surprise then to see Nkoma making way. So both these goalkeepers will field the second half as I've been fairly comfortable in the way of having to make saves or find times of discomfort. "22 appearances for Lesotho in the COSAFA Cup. And looking to beat the 2 occasions where they've ended as runners-up, as mentioned earlier. Once the biggest defeats, of course, to Zambia with the 9-0 scoreline in the past. The happiest moments in the way of biggest wins also come against the side from the COSAFA region in Eswatini with a 5-0 scoreline. Now, into the park here. It's the end from Malawi, finding joy in Salima. And can't quite find the movement on this near side, going down the line. It's responsible stuff defensively. With both the left and right backs here at Lesotho defensive setup, doing a good job of keeping the likes of Salima and Mpangajira quiet in the second half. Well, not quite as influential as they were in the first. Ramek. Nice turn. Oh, he's done a beautiful job of finding space, and again the recovery defensively absolutely top-notch then in denying the cross with 2 or 3 awaiting in the box then. But the initial bit of skill in finding the space then was a thing of beauty from Salima. For this nation of Lesotho, we'll play against the likes of Rwanda in qualification back in March. 1-1 the scoreline. They did find the going tough in the efforts to try and come up with good results in the World Cup qualifiers. You remember that they played South Africa and lost 2-0 in Polokwane. Lovely showing from a South African point of view, where the fans came out and the atmosphere was absolutely top-notch. Did also play against Namibia in Bloemfontein in the World Cup qualification process for the nation of Lesotho. Both they and Namibia were playing their qualifiers in South Africa. Namibia also played Tunisia at the Orlando Stadium. When it has counted in these qualifiers, Lesotho has found the going tough. Losses to the likes of Morocco, 1-0. Central African Republic beat them 3-1. The last COSAFA. Gola also had away with them with the 3-1 scoreline. Now, good movement from Fotwane. So many back defending then for Malawi that they had just the one outlet, but still the ball to try and find him wasn't bad at all. Midfielders having dropped that far deep, had a lot of ground to cover and trying to find that one outlet to give him the support he needed. So it's Lesotho that were quick to win it back and again manage that big ball defensively. Long on the turn. Sifori comfortable in the second half alongside Mahele. Well, there's the big difference that those 2 central defenders, I say they're comfortable in the second half. The reason I say that is they not necessarily finding themselves beaten a lot in the first half. It's just they had a lot to do in keeping Nkoma in check. He was so busy, he was seeing so much of the ball that he really needed to be attended to and kept them on their toes throughout that first 45. Now, and it's Lesotho looking for try on this near side, and Ramek and company have certainly found a way to keep Litsama quiet. To his credit, he's kept having a go at the defender, but he's winning less and less of those duels out wide on this left side. Salima. Great work by Mahele defensively. Gets a lot of the ball, a lot of the men as well, where the opponent feels the contact, but it's very much legal. Sifodi. Plenty of space to turn and look for the forward pass here for Rapuleng. Well, time now. We are coming effective to a point where we begin to wonder if there is to be a goal. It could very well be a winning goal. To this stage, with so few created in the way of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities. First yellow over the afternoon. Maka. He has come in off the bench. And wow. Also, whilst he could argue he got in a touch of the ball, then studs were exposed in the challenge, and you can see he makes contact with the opponent. With the studs, once that is the case, the likelihood of a yellow is very high. In the end, it's a dead ball situation here for Malawi. In open play, they've struggled to break down Lesotho in this half. And that mentions their height and physicality. It hasn't quite worked for them on the offensive part of their game from the dead ball situations. Not yet, anyway. Again, Lesotho able to deal with the danger on the near post. Bianjira. Both these sides are really disciplined in dropping numbers back and making it difficult to play through the lines going into the final third. Making it difficult to create chances, get into shooting range, find enough space to consider pulling the trigger from range even. Good skill, good footwork. Oh, Malazima, to his credit, he doesn't stop trying. May find it going tough at times in trying to beat the defender. He's so busy and at times pops up in the middle of the park in trying to keep the opponents guessing. His efforts have to be appreciated. There you go again, that's lovely work. Well, Malazima in eliminating the defender. And they could have done better in maybe keeping things going and making the most of that situation. We started off so well with Lizima's skill, timing on the ball. And from the far side, Bianjira now. And you can see how many are back defending for Lesotho. They're so quick to get numbers back that it's basically 4-5 against 2 once that cross does come in to the box. Bianjira once again looking for one of the two. He finds the teammate there, appeals for a possible handball. Keep in mind, VAR very much active, and should it be needed, they will have a look. Now, options here, lovely run made on the spear side. The reverse pass on the money. Movement is good and getting to the byline and across the face of goal. All it needed was a touch. It looked as though the touch may very well arrive, and the best we've seen from Malawi in this second half. Wondering if there was the opportunity for the shot a little bit earlier. Lovely movement here. And they just kept the good times rolling on this right side, and the keeper did just about enough or so then. If he didn't get the touch, his presence was enough to see Malawi not quite getting that all-important touch by just an inch. They got it going right then. Pace, creativity, and penetration on that occasion in the final third, something that has been lacking in and around the final third. Here they go again on the right side. Salima, 3 in the box. Oh. Well, the absolutely put foot with the cross, and in the end did way too much, put too much oomph into that, giving none of the 3 men any chance of getting on to the end of it. After some great work in the diagonal run to find the space for the cross. Well, Namibia in action in this group. That's their coach watching on, and he'll be looking at Malawi and Lesotho and plotting on ways to, so far, get the better of them, and best as that looked on the defensive end. So they're in action next in a Group B action. And continues, and again, we'll all be looking for the positive start. Namibia did win the tournament out in Rustenburg more than 10 years ago now. Well, they had Coach Manetti, who was one of the most colourful coaches in the COSAFA Cup history. His post-match interviews were the absolute best. Then when he was throwing up gang signs and shouting out to his friends back home after the wins and so on. Unforgettable character, Coach Manetti from Namibia at COSAFA Cup winning side at a time when they hadn't played league football for a couple of years out in Namibia. They went out and won the COSAFA Cup, which really raised eyebrows. And as we look back at this foul, you can really appreciate what that generation has done when you look at Namibians in the PSL. Great generation of Namibian players to have come from that group. Now, everybody back defending for Lesotho here. Good movement on the near side. The ball to spot the overlapping run is very much on the money, but again, defensively, Lesotho saw that coming from a long way away. Not only are they able to deal with it, the question is, can they really find the right combination of passing and movement going into the opposition half of the field to launch a meaningful counter-attack? Answers no so far. Will be making a change, Lesotho, and it will be in the attacking areas where they'll look to maybe shake things up here in the hope of finding the equalizer. That's how the latest to go into the referee's book. Well, so it's been a competitive game. There have only been a couple of yellow cards in this match. They've kept it clean for the most part. So the two strikers that had very similar games or attributes have both not finished the game here. This one is the man that will come in off the bench here for Lesotho. Comes in at a time when Lesotho are defending the set piece, loving the high line they've kept. It'll be interesting seeing the quality of the ball firstly, trying to find the men in red and black. We have the momentum going into that box, but Lesotho again very much matching what Angola has thrown at them aerially on the defensive end. Binganjera having 2 or 3 to try and manipulate before he can look for the pass for a teammate. Once again, you see there's 2, 3, 4 players around him, forcing him to go back with the pass rather than look to get onto the front foot. There's another offensive-minded player forced to go all the way back to the back 4 from the opposition half of the field. Salima then, all the while taking a lot of physical contact as he looks to protect the ball. Ramek, hospital pass, but in the went in rather aggressively did Rapuleng, so the referee not happy with that. He'll only give the Malawans a set piece, but I think he deserves a yellow card here for Rapuleng. So there have been a few yellow cards. It's by no means been an ugly game in as far as the physicality. Yes, they've competed, but yes, the body language here looked all wrong from Rapuleng. He's gone in back to the opponent, studs exposed. One of those where you can hurt the opponent and the intent looks wrong. Finding him in the referee's book. Again, men in towards that far post, and the defenders from Lesotho have very much owned the airspace above the Free State capital. Everything thrown into that box, they've dominated. One back in a very good area here, Malawi. But again, they can't hold on to it for too long, can't really put the Lesotho defense under pressure. Nicely done by Makhaile in making himself the option to make the clearance possible. Space to turn here. Again, a couple of options towards that far post. The late arrival was from Binganjera. Lesotho will be looking to make yet another change here. Remember, in last year's tournament, if my memory serves me right, in the opening few games throughout the groups, in the opening few days, the goals were a little hard to come by for the teams, and in the end it made for an interesting final day in the groups where teams not only needed goals but needed results. And with that pressure on, the likes of Angola started to really shine and score goals, but when the goals did come, it was late in the tournament in as far as the group stages. Set piece here, where Lesotho were finding the going tough. They had numbers, good numbers, going in towards that final third, but 10 are back defending here from Malawi, and it's difficult to play through the lines. They're sort of trying their best and looking to test that defense, but it's so well organized that the defenders are all having it their own way. Jovinala on that occasion needed to be strong defensively and was. So a couple of changes will be made here by Lesotho. Pusholi will come in for Matabe. Another that had gone rather quiet here in the second half, Matabe. Offensive-minded players have found that their struggles are true here in a game where there's been very few clear-cut chances created. Get another that's coming off the bench here. Done well in playing it up from the back under a bit of pressure from Maletsema. Salima. losing out on this near side. He's lost a lot of the duels now here on this near side. Salima wearing the number 11 jersey after a good start to the game. They're going tough now in the later stages of the match. A few men inside the box, then inviting the early ball. Two in there, again battling 6 or so. To our back defending, so it's comfortable for the Malawian goalkeeper. Well, it'll be interesting seeing these sides once the pressure does come in here for goals. And oh, there's the lovely ball played in. And the run from deep was very much on the money, but did he handle? That's right. Struggling here, dealing with the bounce, and yeah, he used his hand. And the men from Malawi were very quick to spot the handball and let the referee, in case he missed it. That will be reminiscent of, what was it, the 1986 World Cup? Confirmation of the yellow card. But for any youngsters watching, if you love your football and enjoy the international game, you'll hear the older generation speak of the hand of God. I think it was Argentina, England. Was it Maradona, Peter Shelton? If memory serves me right, I could stand corrected then with the English goalkeeper, but had a situation very similar to that Maradona, where one of the very best in the world scored illegally using his hand, duped the referee. The referee didn't spot the handball, nor did the official, the linesman, as they were known back in the day. And the goal was allowed to stand, one of the most controversial moments in world football. And it will remain that. Every time you hear of the expression hand of God, that's where it goes back to, because when he did the post-match interview and asked about the handball by an English journalist, he said it was the hand of God, did Diego Maradona. Solid from Machele defensively. One of those that has stood out here during the course of the afternoon in Bloemfontein. A single. We really have been well organized. The combination of Machele and Sifodi now it was with the good work on their far side in reading the ball in behind the defense. Well, amongst the players that have come from Lesotho to play in South Africa, of course, Siema, who spent or Lucas Siema, I should say, spent a good amount of time in Bloemfontein with Celtic. Also went on to become a coach out in Bloemfontein, most recently with Skokune United, where he did well, still has a bright future ahead of him, I do believe, from a coaching point of view. In the way of the PSL, should be around for some time yet. Many other players that have come from Lesotho that have really contributed to the game here in South Africa, and a few of them finding their stops out in the Free State capital. Again, not too far from home. So as things stand here, 3 matches, goals are the big talking point, or the lack thereof. Continues to take the game to Malawi and trying to make things happen here. And the victim of the challenge from behind, Salima now. Went to give away the set piece. It'll be interesting. I do have the legends out there in as far as the COSAFA games, the likes of Mike Fish. Sean Bartlett also used to be amongst the technical team. Now, there's a lovely chance. Oh, it's a beautifully created goal. Lesotho, they will be frustrated at the flag going up. The guy who came in off the bench and picked up the yellow card for the handball has the movement here, and it's from the training grounds now. Is he off? Ooh, that's questionable. Lovely first touch, roof of the net. And keep in mind, if it's as close as I think it is, VAR is very much available, and they could still end up celebrating at the end of it all, Lesotho. Are they checking? The answer is yes. It looked extremely close. Oh, no, that replay. I thought it was beautifully done by Lesotho, clearly from the training grounds. Opened up that Malawi defense. Needed a great first touch to set up the finish. Everything checked out for Lesotho in creating and finding the back of the net from the dead ball situation. Now, a goal check on, and for VAR. This could be yet another telling moment in as far as the group stages of the COSAFA Cup. We had one yesterday. And keep in mind, the official on the far side initially had his flag up for offside. And out in Lesotho, they'll be hoping that after having checked, the breakthrough will be theirs, and the lead will be theirs to take here with just over 5 minutes remaining in this match. Their best moment in the first half came from a dead ball situation on the front foot. Lesotho, their best moment here in the second has come from a dead ball situation. Both of them clear-cut chances where they absolutely got the better of Malawi and exposed their defense. Should have scored in the first half. Open net, where the keeper had even gone the wrong way. Much more difficult chance to finish here in the second for Dazane, but well, he kept his composure, and a classic goal it is for Lesotho. Will it stand, however? Nervous moments these for Malawi. Well, look back at this game and may have a similar feel to the host nation in South Africa, where they'll say, you know what, for large periods of the game we played good football, we enjoyed it, we had it at our feet, and we kept it away from them and kept them huffing and puffing. But the major challenge for them has been creating chances at the end of all of that positive play, and they just haven't created enough. Same struggles were very much true for the South Africans yesterday. Well, there'll be time added on to the 90 here. I do believe there was, 9 minutes added on to the end of the game yesterday with the South Africans in Mozambique. Now, they've checked it here and celebrate Lesotho, which we suspected would be the case. A very well taken goal. It need be said, onside. The timing of the run was spot on. The defense sucked into that far side. Is the run and where it starts from, and the misdirection in sending the ball to the far, only to bring it to the near side with that header. Has to be from the training grounds then, in the way they opened up that Malawi defense. But the finish was absolutely worth the celebrations after a long wait to guarantee the lead. And 4 remaining now. Desperate times for Malawi. A couple of changes will be made. Chirwa. Silwimba will make way. Well, they are now looking to get onto the front foot. Lungu, who's faded somewhat in the later stages, will make way for Singh in the middle of the park. Silwimba operating in the wide left position defensively, sacrificed here for a more offensive-minded player. And Malawi now desperate in trying to find the equalizing goal. Good work in holding it up here and getting some numbers pushed forward for Lesotho. Well, can they have the positive ending to this game where they are put it to bed still with a few minutes remaining in this game? If they score the next, it's game, set and match. They have the shot in anger. And it's gone over. No worries for Ahele defensively. Again, nicely done by the two men coming in off the bench on the front foot for Lesotho. And firstly holding it up against 5 or 6 defenders for as long as they did until the midfielders dropped back to win the ball back for Malawi. I'll be in a hurry to try and get it forward now, Ramek and company. No point in wasting time here at the back. Bogera. Well, need to start considering the Route 1 Avenue, which is the case. Picking up the second ball here and looking to keep the Lesotho pin back. Singo. Again, have to admire how quickly Lesotho get men behind the ball, how also doing, from a defensive point of view, a great job of winning the individual duels or ensuring they're not beaten, which is the case on that far side. And that means Malawi get to recycle it on the halfway line once again. Yep, they're allowed to have it here in these sorts of areas. It's trying to get into the final third, which is proving a real test again on that right side. It's nice and balanced from Lesotho. What will be a point of interest is the number of minutes added on to the end of this game. Well, they would have been hoping for more than just 4, Malawi, but it's 4 minutes, which for them will fly by, or feel like it will fly by. Well, Lesotho, all they have to do is well, keep things nice and tight defensively, keep the discipline they've had on the defensive end of the game here. And they'll take the advantage in the way of the head-to-head stats against Malawi as the side that's won the most games. So, 90 minutes have come and gone. He continues to work tirelessly in trying to get the better of Ramek. Intention very clear here is just to try and keep them busy defensively. Push them back into their own half. Malawi in need of something special here. They've got men to pick up the second ball. Looking good as they probe here and work it out wide, and an effort to see Singo try and get the better of the defender. The answer is no. Again, it's the ability to win those one-on-one duels out wide on the left and right and denying the crosses coming in. That's done such a good job for Lesotho in keeping Malawi at bay. Communication lines open from Sifoli, and ensuring everyone is at their very best and switched on defensively here. With the initial ball on the defensive end, and well, they would have been hoping to avoid the corner. So, pin back here. Time means Malawi have maybe 1 or 2 chances at trying to create something in the time that remains. Just 2 minutes remaining on the clock now. Everybody back defending for Lesotho. Outswinger. Keeper's come a long way. That's superb goalkeeping. And a tremendous amount of pressure where he's taking everybody out here. Teammates and opponents, but quite importantly, the handling from Museu was a thing of beauty. He read this early, made up his mind early, going into the traffic, going into the forest of players, and no matter what may come, not letting go. Eye on the ball the entire time, not worried about the contact he knows is coming. At this late stage of the game, when defense has worked as hard as it has in protecting you, Museu returns the favor, and Sifoli felt the effects of the commitment from the keeper. Then surely he'll understand and appreciate the efforts of his teammates. So, one of those games where we'll look back and guys like Sifodi and Mahele will really stand out here in the way they've gone about the game defensively. Very well organized, Lesotho. Again, for a side that struggled in open play to open up Malawi, and at times didn't quite have the momentum of Malawi. Best chances going for them against the run of play. Now here they are with the lead and looking to hold on to it. Cliffhanging in the last 30 seconds. Space on this near side. Numbers always on the defensive end mean the offensive players really need a special ball if they are to be picked out here for a header that could make a difference from Malawi. Has to be really special. Quality of the ball lacking in that final third, so Lesotho able to deal with it. 4 minutes have come and gone. So, statement made by the side that the finished runners-up on a couple of occasions, and more so this last year in the COSAFA Cup. Looking for the bright starts in getting the action underway in 2025. They get that bright start and had to work hard for it. Lesotho wasn't easy. And they were kept honest and stayed honest and disciplined defensively at their strong point, and offensively they came up with 1 or 2 moments in dead ball situations that really were class, and that's how the goal came about here. Hey, love that. And that's hours of work put into the training sessions, and when it works out as beautifully as that looked and was executed on a day where chances are hard to come by, you really have to appreciate quality. And well, there's your man of the match. It's Abdallah, and well, for Lesotho, it won't get any easier going forward in as far as this group, but so important to starts by picking up 3 points and just getting the spirit right in the camp. That's exactly what Lesotho have done. They'll be hoping this result, of course, means more of their supporters make the trip out to the Free State capital to enjoy some tough duels that lie in wait for a nation still in search of their first ever COSAFA Cup crowning. Hugs all around for Leslie Noti and his men. And well, for Malawi, we expect them to be strong and athletic. Well, they lacked the quality in the final third. Otherwise, they did play a good brand of football at times, and really did have a few players that stood out in the middle of the park. In the end, is the defenders from Lesotho that will be smiling here all the way to their next game, where they'll put this encounter behind them. Hats off to Sifodi and Mahele, as well as the rest of the team for their efforts defensively and the good start that we're looking for. So, just the one goal, which has been the order of the day when there has been a winner so far at the COSAFA Cup. This time around, in Group B action, is Lesotho 1, Malawi no, with Lesotho bagging 3 points. There you have it, nothing on target from Malawi. That pretty much breaks down their troubles then. Lesotho, well, they scored one from a dead ball situation. Their other best chance was a dead ball situation. They also struggled in open play. To Malawi, well, they enjoyed a lot of the ball, but in areas that didn't hurt Lesotho, Lesotho smiling all the way to the bank here.
And now we're with the assistant coach of Malawi, Peter Mponda. Coach, Sonne yet so far, just your impressions of the 90 minutes.
It was an even balanced game. There were not too many chances. I felt that we had some half chances which would have capitalized, but we didn't take them. Towards the end, we lost concentration on one simple ball, or we went to mark one guy, the other guy got it in a free space. He finished. Yeah, it's unfortunate that we didn't get anything from this game the way we fought, but that's part of the game. We need to see where we got it wrong.
And a losing start is never nice in the competition.
Yeah, it's a bad start, but we still have a chance. We have to go and win both our remaining games and see what happens. So we'll be relying on the other teams to try to get points from Lesotho, which is not a good thing. We have put ourselves in an awkward situation, but we have to dig ourselves out of that trench we are in now.
We said earlier that games against Lesotho are always tough, and it's proved the same.
No, like I said, that it was a very tight game. There were not too many chances. I don't think that even Lesotho saw that they'll win this game the way the game was. But they took their chance, which yes, it was a clear chance which they took. They scored. That's what happens if you don't take your chances. You don't win games.
And lastly, coach, that wait for the VAR decision. How long was it for you?
No, I think it's very bad to keep waiting, but it's good for the game. Unfortunately, today we are at the end of the decision, but yeah, we need those decisions in the game.
Thank you, coach, and all the best in your next game.
Thank you so much.
And now we're joined by the coach of Lesotho, the winning coach, Ndate Litsie Notsi. Congratulations, coach. Just tell us, how did you see this match?
It came as we had expected. We're expecting a very, very tough encounter. If you look at the profile of Malawi in this COSAFA and other tournaments, they're always doing very well. And the physical presence of their players, the speed and the technical ability, it's always good. So we had prepared ourselves against that, and we also happy. We are actually happy that our boys responded very well to whatever that the Malawians were giving us, and the manner in which some of our youngsters, engaged themselves, in terms of their defensive ability, their offensive abilities. I think they showed that our future looks good. Yes, of course, this is the first match of the tournament. It's good that we started well, but at the same time, it's still a long way to go. And there are a lot of good things that we took from this match. And going forward, there is also a lot that we need to address in terms of the way we defend, in terms of the attacking aspects. But we are always saying there's always a room for improvement.
I asked the other coach about the VAR decision. How long was it for you, and what was going through your mind?
It was forever, and it's mind-blowing. It takes a lot from, but I think I know it's not. Probably it has not gone down well with our opponents, Malawi. But now that's how the game goes lately. So we have to take it on the chin, and they gave us a good fight.
And coach, how important was this 3 points, especially as you mentioned at the start of the tournament?
Very, very important, because like we had mentioned earlier, we have 9 youngsters in the team. So the question was, will they able to absorb, the pressure of the tournament? And I think with these 3 points coming in, it would give us confidence going forward.
Congratulations, thank you, coach, and good luck in your next game.
Thank you so much. Cheers. Okay.
And we're now joined by the coach of Angola, Pedro Soares Gonçalves. Coach, welcome to South Africa, to Bloemfontein in particular. First start against Namibia. How do you see this match coming up?
Well, thank you for the welcome. It's the